Can I don't think I can get on the vehicle. Can I get on the vehicle? I can't get on the vehicle.
They know where you are. There are eyes on you, Spartan.
Oh my god!
Flag return.
Yes! Get in there!
Exposed, Spartan. You've been spotted.
That was so close. Up until this year, I had never played a Halo game. It's always been like one of those things that I always wanted to try out, but just never got around to it. I remember distinctly when Halo originally came out because my roommate at the time had an Xbox. They had the OG Xbox with the Duke controller with the black and white buttons in a really weird position. And I remember my roommate playing tons of Halo at the time, but I couldn't quite wrap my head around the idea of playing Halo, well, any first-person shooter without a mouse and keyboard. I felt like that was just crazy, and for some reason, maybe it was, you know, the ignorance and being ridiculous of being in your 20s, I thought, oh, that can't possibly be good, so why even bother trying? And so I never tried Halo 1 until this year. And, you know, since then I've clearly gotten over my mouse and keyboard obsession, and I'm all in on controller now. So I had been seeing one of our Discord community members, Joel Mead, he was tweeting out a bunch of clips of him playing Halo Master Chief Collection on his Xbox. And I knew that the series was very, very popular, incredibly popular. And I had an Xbox Series X and figured, well, I'm subscribed to Game Pass and it comes with Master Chief Collection and I've never tried this before, so why not give it a shot? And so earlier this year, I did a live stream where I played Halo for the first time, having never played more than like 10 minutes before. And like the next day, I finished it. So I played Halo from start to finish in a weekend, which I know, not a big deal, but for those of you that watch my content, I don't finish games. I just don't. I never tend to finish games. So for me to finish a game and be like that into it was something that I was really, really enjoying. I knew that Halo Infinite was coming and I was very much looking forward to trying that game out, especially since it is a free-to-play game and that means I didn't have to risk any money to try it. So I figured, why the hell not, you know? Well, it came out a couple of days ago, surprising everybody. I did a live stream playing multiplayer Halo for the very first time, and I have to say, oh man, am I hooked. This game is fantastic, and I have been having an absolute blast playing Halo multiplayer. Now, of course, I personally was looking more forward to the campaign. And not because I'm a huge nerd for Halo lore or anything like that, but actually because I don't really like PvP all that much. I tend to not be super good at PvP, and playing games that are PvP focused, I tend to get killed really quickly, but that doesn't seem to bother me with Halo multiplayer. I've been having a lot of fun. It took some time to get used to it. Having never played Halo before, other than Halo 1, which the controls are very different than in this one, but I'm absolutely having a ball with this game. It's so good. So I want to talk first off about the graphics. I know that when they showed off Halo stuff, the first thing that they showed off was, you know, the graphics, and everybody, I don't understand why, was very irritated with how the game looked. To me, I thought it looked great, but I didn't have anything to compare it to, and I've never really been a graphics snob. And I'm not saying if you didn't think that the original unveiling of Halo looked good, then you're a graphics snob, but I'm just saying I tend to be somebody who doesn't care all that much about graphics. I'm more about gameplay. As I looked at it, I struggled to see why people were irritated with how the game looked. That being said, as I play the game, I think it looks beautiful. When I was doing my live stream, somebody asked if it had ray tracing on, and I couldn't tell, but again, I'm not the person to ask about that. I will say that one of our Discord community members said that this is one of the first games to support Dolby Digital video on the Xbox Series X, which is really cool. But because of my signal chain of my Xbox going into an HDMI switch and then into a capture card and then out of a capture card into an HDMI switch and then out of the HDMI switch into my computer monitor and into my TV over here, it doesn't make, like, I can't use that Dolby Digital stuff, but cool. I'm glad that it's there for the people who can take advantage of it. I really think this game looks great with or without that. I also don't have a 120 hertz screen to play on, so I can't really take advantage of that either. But what I am seeing graphics wise is really fantastic. The animation is awesome, and let's move on to the sound. As you play Halo, and again, I'm just talking about multiplayer, as you play that, the sound design, it's not like stuff that sounds cool, but every single thing in the game has a sound cue, so you can pay more attention to the things that are happening in the gameplay and less to the UI around it. Like the sound of your shields recharging when you have taken damage is very, very satisfying. And it means that I don't have to look at the top of my screen to see, okay, I'm recharging now, it's safe to come back out from cover. I can just listen for that sound and keep my eyes more peeled to the radar. So I think that that's really awesome. All right, we've talked about the graphics and the sound. I want to talk about the gameplay because, let's be honest, for me, that's the thing that I personally care most about. And the gameplay is absolutely top-notch. The guns feel really, really good. I also really like how they spawn around the map and there's an announcer that says, hey, get ready because this gun is about to drop. And as you start to learn your way around the map, you're like, all right, well, I'm going to start heading that direction because I know there's going to be a lot of people heading towards it, and either I can be going after that gun or I can be trying to pick off people who are heading after that gun. The same can be said for all of the little RB buttons that you can pick up along the way, like the grappling hook or the little shield or the dash ability, all that stuff also feels really good. I love the way that the levels are designed, and you feel really, really good as you are traversing from one place to another and maybe jumping through a window and mantling up over something and then doing a quick jump slide along the ground in order to get just a little bit more momentum to slide around the edge of the corner and maybe take somebody out. Now, don't think for a second that I personally have been able to pull that off, but I've tried and it's happened to me. And every time that somebody slides around the corner at me, I'm always impressed by their skill and also by the animation of how cool it looks as you move around. The game really took traversal seriously, and I think that they've done a great job. I don't have anything to compare it to other than Halo 1, but I am impressed. So far, I'm still very early on in my quote-unquote Halo career, but the different modes that I've been playing, I've had an absolute blast with. The ones that really jump out at me that I enjoy the most is the Slayer mode. That's where you're just going in and trying to rack up as many kills as you can. Then there is the Stronghold, where you've got 3 points that you have to capture. Whoever is in control of the majority of those capture points is scoring at that time. So if you're holding point A and I'm holding point B and point Z, my team is scoring. If then you come over and take point C away, then your team is scoring because you have 2 and I have 1. I think honestly that's my favorite mode so far because I always know where I need to go. I can always just look around really quick and say, oh, okay, I gotta go head over to Bravo, or I have to stay here and defend Charlie. I always know where I should be, which means I get to see lots and lots of action. In the Slayer map, I'm just kind of wandering around shooting at dudes, but honestly, I really like, I can't remember what it's called. What the hell is it called?
That's Stronghold. You just said that.
Oh, that's right. So that's my favorite mode. All right, now if you're like me and you're new to Halo multiplayer, let me tell you just a couple of tips that I have learned as I've played. Number one, look at that compass. That compass tells you where everybody is if they are nearby you, unless they're ducking down. So I guess that leads into like part B of the first tip, and that's when you get to a spot and you plan on sitting there for any length of time, you should squat down because now you're not on the radar, and then you can look at your radar and see if anybody's coming up on you so that you can take them out. My next tip for everybody is learn how the different guns work. You're going to do so much better if you go into the tutorial mode where they show you, hey, this is the range that you want to use your assault rifle at. This is the good range to use, you know, this weapon, and this is the good range to use that weapon. Practice and see how they work, because trying to shoot somebody at a very long range with a gun that is not designed for it is going to mean that you're going to get taken out. So you want to make sure that you're using the right gun for the job. The last tip that I can think of right off the top of my head is don't get too aggressive. I feel like the idea that your shields recharge tricks me into feeling like I need to be aggressive in order to take them out before their shields recharge. But what always happens is if I try and chase somebody down, I end up out of position and then easily taken out by somebody that I either didn't notice, or maybe that person is a better shot than me and they're able to take me out. So when you feel yourself pushing just a little bit too far, pull yourself back, hang out behind a corner for a second, let that shield recharge, and then try and go back after them. And then the last thing that I'll say is really take advantage of the grenades. If I'm ever getting ready to retreat, I toss a grenade at the ground nearby as I run away so that it can maybe take out anybody who is pushing too hard to try and take me out. All right, that's it. My question to you is, have you been playing Halo multiplayer and what do you think of it? Are you excited for the campaign when that comes out, I think next month? I know that I am. Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, I'm Bill, and I will see you next time. Stay rad, everybody.